Good morning. This is Spirit Journey, and it's very early in the morning. I had fallen asleep early in the day, in the early evening, and then I woke up maybe around midnight. So right now it's 2:43 a.m. in the morning, Friday, January 24, 2020. I had to redo a video that I uploaded. There was a typo. And it was the video on my doing a tarot card reading regarding the orb that I saw on my birthday. It was late at night. And I was watching two paranormal movies on the subject of, people who transitioned. And I was really deeply moved with one of them in particular. I'm not 100% sure which movie I was watching at the time when the orb appeared. I had seen an orb that was right by my cheek, my left cheek. And so I did a tarot card reading. And the first time I did it, I was just very tired at the time. And so the next day after that, because I wrote down the cards that I selected for the reading. It was a 5-card spread. And so I just reread the cards. And it was extremely revealing. But at the time, when I did it the first time, and I read it out loud, and I even recorded that session, and I didn't comprehend. I find that I'm able to comprehend when I read it to myself in my mind. For whatever reason, I grasp the information. And so that's what happened. I reread the cards to myself, and the meaning just jumped out at me. And so, I had to redo that video to correct an error that was in it, a typo. And I was watching the video that I did. And I came up with more insight as it pertains to the tarot cards itself. And that's what I want to share with you guys here in this audio. Okay, I am no expert at tarot card. I bought my first deck of cards. That could have been 2015. I went to a bookstore and I was on a quest to try to find out what's going on in my life. I had an extreme urgency in the matter. And I bought a whole slew of books, plus the tarot. It was to be like an introduction to what was off limits to me because of my belief system of that time. And I wanted to break the boundaries because I felt that I needed to go outside of the box in order to free myself from the programming that I received growing up. It didn't serve me. It might have served others, but it didn't serve me. And I said, I'm about serving myself. In the positive sense, not the positive sense, not in a greedy, but you have to be able to help yourself. It's good to help others, but it's also good to help yourself and not be a doormat. So, as it pertains to the tarot cards and helping me understand what they are. Now, my reading on the orb that I saw on my birthday, it was just the meaning. And I said to myself, how could a, because again, I used to think that tarot cards were the devil. I was a so-called born-again Christian. And anything like that is evil. And you touch it, you might get hurt, or it was fear, extreme fear and caution. And I said, wow, to get to give something that type of power and dominance over you. I mean, look at a car. A car is a tool. It can take you to different destinations. It can also help people. You could even bring people along with you and help others with this vehicle. Or it can also, at the wrong hands, a drunken driver and go and kill somebody with it. So it's a tool. And I advise that the people that devised the tarot knew something. Okay. Now, everything in this system, it's organized. It's a system, a set of laws that keep things in the system. Like, you have gravity, you have laws. The so-called law of gravity, that everything responds to everything else pretty much in a predictable way. Because every item has in it, think of it as a program. When you make something, you make it with a quality built into it. Let's say a handbag. I just purchased 2 leather handbags. Now you have a designer of that handbag. And they pretty much design it, a real designer really thinks into the product, what they want it to do, how big, and how big it is really to govern the type of contents that it is designed to put in it. If you've got a small little bag, smaller things going in it. Big bag, big things, or many things in it. It has flexibility in it, what you do with it, but certain things govern it, and when you use things outside of how it's to be used, you're going to have a problem. It'll break, right? So everything has its function built into it. Everything. And people too. People have different things that make it up. We have different shapes and sizes and colors and textures. And each one has its attributes that govern it, how it's going to live, what it can do, its potential. You don't have to utilize all your potentials in it, like let's say you're a woman, but you never have children. Yes, you have the potential to become a mommy, but you didn't go there, okay? Let's say you have long legs, but you decide you didn't want to be a track star. Maybe you wanted to do something else. Maybe you like sitting down. You might have the legs to run, but you're a sedentary person. You're not very physical. So we have in us, because of the design by the designer, an intelligence that was made into things. And I think with the tarot cards, an intelligence was built into it. And I speculate that the people that made the tarot understood the laws that govern this dimension, the interaction of life. And that think of it like a program. And you have many people now, the physicists, who say that this world system has the language of a computer program, like what builds the internet. But isn't the internet something that holds information? It's a large database. It in itself doesn't do anything, it just has it. It's like a brain. And it can do things when you probe into it to retrieve information, and sometimes you have what they call now AI, and the AI can, works in the system, and it could do things, but even the AI was built by some creator. And yes, some things could go renegade, and maybe that's what AI is. But again, getting back in the topic of the tarot cards. So, each of these cards of the tarot, it represents something. It's communicating. And it has its limits, but each of the archetype of the cards gives a story, and again, it has its flexibility in it too, because we're interpreting what the cards are saying, and sometimes meaning may be adjusted based on the relationship of the different cards. For good card reading, it's endless, like the onion, different layers, and it's what you want to see in them, in that relationship, based on everything else, even in real life. Let's say an accident happens and you have the different witnesses, right? You have different witnesses. And the detective is asking the different witnesses / tarot cards what they saw. And each witness / tarot card is given its understanding. And it's not that they were wrong, because as you know, many times when you ask witnesses, that they have a different account. And it's not that they were lying. What they perceived at that moment. And they have different angles to it, to the situation. The question is entirely about asking a question, and it's really giving an answer. And another analogy of the tarot cards, how it relates to, when you ask a question and how it could respond in ways that are absolutely shocking. Think of it as, let's say you go to a department store. Now, it's understood when you go in a department store that you might want to, look around. Maybe you want to actually buy something. And let's say you go to the store and you want to know where something is. So you go to the customer service or a teller, say, excuse me, where is such and such? Now that person that you ask, it's assumed, it's the assumption that because they are there, that they will have certain information and that they probably were trained in knowing where certain things are in the store. That's part of the job. That's part of the program. They were programmed / instructed / taught possible questions that would be asked of them, like where's the bathroom? Where could I return this? Where are the shoes? Do you have baby wear? Or where are the paints? Anything. And depending upon what type of store, what type of questions you can ask them. You go to a paint store, you ask about paints. You wouldn't go into, let's say, a paint store and ask about where the muffins, where the cookies. It's the wrong type of place, wrong type of tarot cards. Now they have all these different types of tarot cards, right? But basically, tarot card, still has its foundational roots about questions about this life. And so like that department store, and when you ask the cashier or the customer service, there is an expectancy to get some type of answer. Okay, when it works properly, again, some things in life, sometimes there's a glitch. The person's new, they weren't programmed or taught or instructed carefully, and so they might have made an error or whatever. But basically, when things go, basically how it's supposed to, you get a relatively accurate answer. So it's an expectancy when you go to the customer service, the helper. You ask them a question, and then they tell you, oh, it's over there. It's over, oh, you could, just go down here that way. Oh, we ran out, but we're going to get it tomorrow or next week. All different types of responses it can give you based on the program / tarot cards. When you ask that question, and you really never know what the potential of the type of question you can ask was always there. It's just dormant, and it's waiting for you to ask the question. And so with the tarot, when you put the tarot in your hand now, you're putting your intent, just like you had an intent when you went up to that customer service desk. Your intent was to get to ask a question, and you expected a response. And you if you have any real common sense or whatever, logic and reason, you're going to make sure you ask the right person for your query. So when you address a question to a tarot card, and again, if the tarot card, I speculate someone who really understood the layout of the land, so to speak, of the type of questions that could be asked, because it's the world is really in a controlled matrix. You're really not going to get anything outside of these X number of cards, because it's pretty much a defined system, you know? So it knows, basically, because it's programmed, and it's only programmed X number of cards in the system, basically. And you hold on to the cards, and you put in your intent. They say everything is energy in the world, everything. You have energy. And you're holding the cards in your hand, putting in it all your intent. Your thoughts are going into those cards. Intent, expectations, queries, desires, all that is mingling with those cards, even though it's just a piece of paper. But aren't you programming it on your intent? You are affecting those cards because of your intent. It's not, you have to go beyond that. It's paper. It's something that could respond. It's designed to respond by, you shuffle the cards, and each time you're shuffling it because you're programming it to, because it knows ahead of time where it's going to go. Because you said, I want to know this question. So when you really are getting into it and flowing with the cards, you are programming it by your manipulation of the cards, the mixing of the cards. And then you place the cards down in a particular pattern. And that pattern is supposed to represent the intent of your question. You're saying it, I want to do this, and I'm going to execute it. So you have to be confident in what you're doing. It's like driving a vehicle, and you're not a confident driver. You're unsure yourself. Or do I want to make a left turn, a right turn? And what could happen when you're in a car? You could get in an accident because you had mixed signals of your intent. And so the energy got kind of lost and you crashed into something, right? It's whole chaos. So when you're using a tarot cards, use it with intent and expectancy. You are like a scientist. He said, I am going to do this. And you tell the cards, you're doing this. And it does it. Because you're right in alignment, you're in the flow of the cards, and you get an outcome. And I think that's what those cards are all about. And some are better at it than others because maybe their intent of selecting the cards, the shuffle, they connect with it. I really like this new deck that I got for my birthday. The birthday that just passed. I really like the little animals that I'm a little girl at heart, and I'm fascinated with the little animals. It reminds me of storybooks that I read when I was in elementary school. And so it brings me back to that childhood innocence that I had. And so maybe the reading really connected with me. I held the cards in my hands and I put it to my chest. I gave my word of intent and I shuffled them. So I'm thinking it's being you're putting your intent and and some people more, could like a razor precision of thought and intent. And it just worked out. So that's my understanding about the tarot card. And again, I'm not a pro with tarot. But when I just got that reading, I couldn't help but just say wow. And so maybe with you, those who are listening to this audio, especially if you come from a Christian background like myself, and being taught that there's something evil about it, how could, if you believe something is evil, then it will become evil to you in its response, because you're programming intent. And it's as powerful as you want to use it. And maybe these authorities in these religions, what is religion? Well, at least modern day religion. It's a system of control. It's about taking people and telling them / programming you to perform the outcome that it wants you to do. And on top of that, they're taking your money. So you're doing all the work and giving them your money, not the reverse. They don't give you a thing. And they can tell you anything they want you to believe. And that system didn't want you to believe or to get information of the system and how it works. And so whoever who devised this tarot card, I don't know when it was developed, and at one point it was just a few people who had it. I think the royalty or something like that, the affluent people. They don't want you to know. They don't want you to know how this system works, because then they can't control you. But it is used, and if it didn't work, it probably phased out. But enough people value it for it to stay. It's a path well ridden on. So, get a tarot cards. Get something that you feel comfortable with. And learn the meanings of the card. And again, the tarot cards oftentimes comes with a booklet. Because again, it's the person who made those cards, that deck, they too put meaning. It's the basic template, but they add maybe certain characteristics with the pictures, whatever, into it. And so some cards might specialize in a certain type of question, maybe. Some nuances that might be a little different. So yeah, try it out. Cleanse the cards like what I did. And again, I'm putting in my intent. It's all about intent. And you put that intent into the cards / programming it. I did use what they call a smudge stick. I had the sage, and I lit the sage and I smoked the cards. And I think I also put essential oils in it. And so when I use them, I can smell the fragrance of the smoked sage on it, and it's really nice. So I think that it added in the programming and my receptivity to it. And they say, keep the cards near you, when you sleep, have it by your head. So you're connecting with the cards. And I think that's, again, about programming it, that it's picking up your frequency. It's connecting with you and you're connecting with it. Programming. So that is my account of the tarot cards. Let me know what you think about the tarot cards. How does it work for you? So, those of you who hear this audio and you like its content, you could subscribe to my channel, Spirit Journey. You could share this audio with friends, family members, and you can give me the thumbs up. And those who want to promote this channel, I invite you to PayPal me, and to do so, you just go to my channel, Spirit Journey, and there's a banner on the top of my channel, and on the right side of the banner, you'll see a PayPal me link. Just click on the link and follow the prompts. Any amount would be greatly appreciated. I thank you all in advance. Take care and enjoy your day. Bye-bye.